Hey guys, welcome to another holiday-themed episode of NerdCrave. So today I want to talk about something really near and dear to my heart, and that is my VHS collection at Christmas time. This is when I really engage with my VHS collection the most. Day to day, if I want to watch an action movie or something, it's just as easy to watch a digital version of it, or a DVD, or something that I've got downloaded, or watch it on Netflix or something. But around Christmas time, it really sparks the nostalgia in me, really sparks the romance in me, and I really want to go back to those earlier, simpler times in the 80s and in the 90s when VHS was the primary medium, and you would put in a tape and you'd get the clicks and the whirs and the fast forwarding and rewinding and the little lines on the screen when you pause, and there's just something so warm and fuzzy about that. So I wanted to run a few of my favorite Christmas VHS tapes through that I do watch or try to watch just about every year. I'll leave my favorites to the very end, but let's get started. Alright, well, no nerd's movie collection would be complete at Christmas without mentioning Die Hard. Now, there's always been controversy as to whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not, but in my heart, Die Hard is absolutely a Christmas movie, and this is one of the ones that gets watched a little bit earlier in the season, usually around Thanksgiving. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm probably going to watch it in the next day or two. Die Hard happens at Christmas time, there's Christmas music in there, so don't tell me this is not a Christmas movie. I will be watching this. Another seasonal favorite being the Disney fan that I am, and that is Mickey's Christmas Carol. Now, you can also make an argument for the Muppets Christmas Carol, which I know I have somewhere, but I couldn't find it anywhere. But Mickey's Christmas Carol, absolute classic. I usually like to watch this with my kids, or with somebody's kids anyway, because, it is obviously a kid's, but even if I don't have kids around, I am going to watch this, along with a lot of those Rankin Bass holiday classics, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeers, and the Frosty the Snowmans. I never miss that stuff at any Christmas time. Now, a more modern classic that absolutely should not be missed around the holidays, and I do tend to watch this sometime between Halloween and Thanksgiving, and that is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Absolute holiday classic, should not be missed by any fan of movies in general, but if you are a Christmas fan and a VHS fan and you can find a copy of this and watch it like you did back in the 90s, man, this is a great experience. Moving back another decade into the 80s, and that is Santa Claus the Movie. I actually just watched this with my mom about 2 nights ago. She hadn't seen it in so long that she forgot about it, but I watched this one. I don't watch this every Christmas, but maybe every 2 or 3 years I watch this one. It is a really good movie. Just not one of my absolute favorites that we'll be getting to pretty shortly. Now, something that is an absolute favorite of mine, and I'll tell you why. Tim Allen. Now, I have all 3 of these movies on VHS, but this is the best one, The Santa Claus. If you are only going to watch one, the first Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen is such a heartwarming movie, a touching story, a broken family, and he manages to bring his relationship back with his son because of his situation as becoming Santa Claus, and just absolutely iconic 90s movie. The second movie was okay, the third movie was frankly terrible, but I'm still glad to own this, and I do play this on VHS every single Christmas. Another movie that I go out of my way to watch on VHS every year, and again, that is because of the nostalgia involved from back in the day, watching this as a family with my parents every year, and that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. This is one of my all-time favorite humorous Christmas movies. I feel like stuff like this is lost on the new generation, who only seem to talk about Elf with Will Ferrell and Jim Carrey's Grinch, which, don't get me wrong, those are enjoyable movies, but neither one of them are on this list. Christmas Vacation, absolutely iconic movie. that I never miss a year of watching. This tape, I actually have about 2 or 3 copies of this tape just as a backup, because I do play it fairly frequently. Another humorous movie that I actually really enjoy, and that's Bill Murray's Scrooged. It's a really interesting take on the Christmas Carol Ebenezer Scrooge story, but with a modern perspective, and it's really quite funny, as just about anything Bill Murray does, it's quite funny. I do watch this most years, but I watch it on my own because I seem to be the only person I know that likes this movie. But this definitely does get played, and all these movies, if you're out hunting, if you're into VHS collecting and you don't have some of these movies, they're all still pretty cheap, and honestly, they're a lot of fun to watch this way. Make yourself a bowl of popcorn and just get right into it. Another movie I don't watch every year, but most years, and that's Schwarzenegger's Jingle All the Way. Trying to get the light off here. There we go. So Schwarzenegger's Jingle All the Way, it's another good 90s family movie. It's cute, it's funny. I wouldn't say it's in my ultimate favorites, but it was good enough to make this list. I do have quite a few other Christmas movies that I didn't necessarily include here. Some cartoon shorts, the original Grinch, Dr. Seuss's Grinch on VHS tape and stuff. I've got quite a few other ones like that, cartoons and things that I didn't necessarily need to mention here. This video doesn't need to be 20 minutes long. But moving into the movies that I would consider the greatest holiday movies of all time. Now, these are movies that were made decades ago, and these stand the test of time as the best holiday movies of all time, and if you can watch them on VHS, so much the better, because the nostalgia. So, starting here with Miracle on 34th Street. The original black and white version. These were available colorized as well. Miracle on 34th Street is such an endearing story about this little girl that doesn't believe in Santa Claus, and she comes to believe in Santa Claus through this epic court case that they use to prove that Santa Claus is actually Santa Claus. It's very, very cute. Santa goes to court. It centers around, people that work at Macy's and the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. If you haven't seen this movie, and I don't blame you because this movie is like 70 years old, and if you're anything under 40 years old like me, there's a very good chance you've either never heard of this movie or just thought it was an old crappy movie that you weren't interested in, but don't overlook this movie. It's absolutely fantastic. Next, Jimmy Stewart in It's a Wonderful Life. This movie's from the 40s. Again, I don't blame you if you haven't seen it, but you need to see this movie. And there are several different versions. This is the colorized version. I do prefer the black and white version, but I chose to show the colorized version here because I like the cover art on this one. It's just pretty. Really heartwarming tale. This is what Christmas movies should be. A real love story, and that's what you get here. Two people that are kind of star-crossed lovers in the night, and they're poor, and they've got to work their way towards, just surviving, and at the end of the movie, the whole community comes together to prove how much they are loved and valued in that community, and just a fantastic movie, so not to be missed. Another Irving Berlin thing here, Holiday Inn with Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire. This is not strictly a Christmas movie, but I do watch it at Christmas time because it does, end off on a Christmas note, but they cover a whole bunch of different holidays in this inn that Bing Crosby sets up with, he only is open on holidays, so there's references to Thanksgiving and Washington's birthday and Easter and stuff like that, but it ends up as a Christmas story. And the singing and dancing in this is fantastic, as you would expect with Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire. Musicals may not be your thing, but there's no more appropriate time than Christmas for a musical. a little bit more of a drama. And again, Bing Crosby. Bing Crosby is the king of Christmas, at least from that era. For those of you who are younger and maybe think Michael Bublé is the king of Christmas, or maybe if you're a decade older, you may think Harry Connick Jr. was the king of Christmas, or maybe if you're another couple of decades older, you might have thought that Andy Williams was the king of Christmas. But Bing Crosby was the original king of Christmas, and there are so many Christmas movies and hundreds of Christmas songs put out by him. Now, this movie is more of a drama, a very heartwarming drama, a bit of a sad story that ends on a high note. It's not 100% Christmas related, but I always watch it at Christmas time. Usually with my mom, because we both really appreciate Bing Crosby. And moving into another Bing Crosby movie, and this one is epic. I assume everybody is familiar with this movie, but you'd be surprised at how many of the younger generations have never watched this movie. So, White Christmas, absolutely iconic. Irving Berlin did the music. So many of the iconic Christmas songs that we just know today as Christmas songs were introduced in this movie. The dancing, the costumes, the singing, such a fantastic story. Humor, it's funny, it's cute, it's heartwarming. Millions of people have quoted this as being the best Christmas movie of all time, and I am one of them. Nothing beats White Christmas with Bing Crosby, and if you haven't seen it, or you haven't seen it recently, give it a shot this holiday season, because honestly, this is what Christmas is meant to be. These heartwarming, romantic, coming together stories. It's what Christmas is all about. It's about bringing people together. It's about, healing old hurts. It's about, putting smiles on people's faces, and family, and good home family values, and that sort of thing. That's what Christmas is about to me, and this movie is the absolute epitome of that. And one more movie for this list, and I watch this movie religiously every Christmas Eve, pretty close to midnight, because it's just fitting. And that is the original Alastair Sim, A Christmas Carol, also known as Scrooge, depending on the packaging you get. This is the colorized version. Again, I do prefer the black and white version of this, but I kind of go back and forth. One year I'll watch the black and white, one year I'll watch the colorized version. I have, again, 3 or 4 copies of this tape, because I absolutely always want to have access to watching this tape, so I do have several duplicates just in case. It's one of the most popular movies of yesteryear, and I have yet to find a better movie to watch on Christmas Eve. There are several other versions of the Dickens Christmas Carol story, some of them with fairly interesting people, and some of the other versions are pretty good too. I'll actually reference here, there was a version where Patrick Stewart of Star Trek fame played Scrooge, and he was fantastic in that. I do not have that on VHS. I do not even know if that exists on VHS, but I would love to find out. I do have a downloaded copy of that movie, and I do watch it pretty often. There are several other versions of the movie, and any of them are worth watching on Christmas Eve, but this one in particular, the Alastair Sim, I won't say it's the original. I think there actually was an older version, but this is the one that I think captured the hearts and minds of our parents and grandparents anyway. And, for me, growing up watching TV with my mom and my grandparents, I can't go a Christmas without watching this movie. Anyways, guys, thanks for sticking around. This may have been a bit of a boring video for some of you. I'm a huge Christmas fanatic, and, I feel like I just wanted to share with you the things that I love around these holidays. And whether you consume these movies on VHS like me, I know I'm kind of crazy. VHS is, a lot of people think VHS, geez, that's garbage, terrible old format. I just love the nostalgia of VHS, but however you choose to consume these movies, all of these movies should be watched, not necessarily every Christmas, but if there are any movies on here that you haven't seen, please go ahead and check them out. And by all means, in the comments below, tell me some of your favorite Christmas movies that you think I should check out, because I'm absolutely interested in discovering new things. I'm not a big fan of the Hallmark movies in general, but, anything that I've missed here, please go ahead and tell me. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, stay classy.